my lovelies, and welcome back to the Swish family. I am here today to bring you a home management journal. This is actually my Jane Austen Inspired Home Management Journal. I just call it Jane Austen Inspired because I've put lots of beautiful flowers and quotes from Jane Austen throughout my home management journal. It is in a pretty chunky, thick file, a 2-ring file, and let me show you what I've got. I'm not going to show you the first 2 pages, rather I'll tell you what they are. The first page is emergency information. So if we have a babysitter here, for instance, that first page has got emergency contact numbers, my number, my husband's number, our address with our full postcode, the nearest hospital. The following 2 pages have our insurance information, car breakdown service information, our doctor's rooms, and any medications that we are on. So any medical information in case there's an accident at the home, or in case we need to contact the insurance really quickly, we have all the information that we need at our fingertips. So I'm not going to show you those 2 pages. Right, so let's just, because it's all really personal information, I have put on the medical information, I have put down our full names, dates of birth, and any medications that we're taking, any intolerances we have, any allergies that we have. In case, like I said, the paramedics want to know if we're on any medications, etc. In an emergency situation, they will then know how to treat us appropriately. The first page I can show you is the academic year. I've just taken this information straight from the school's website and I've pasted it into this lovely border here. I found all these borders and pictures on online, and I've just pasted them in appropriately wherever I felt that the page needed some prettying. So there is the academic year, so I know when the terms start, when they're on break, etc. Then I have what's called a perpetual calendar. Now this goes into any home management journal that I have, because it has all birthdays on it. It has things like anniversaries. For instance, in March you've got St. Patrick's Day, you've got World Book Day that usually happens in March, Mother's Day usually happens in March, although the date changes every year. So I haven't actually put that in there. I've just put World Book Day, whatever day it is, it'll happen in March. Mother's Day, it'll happen in March. So I know that those things happen in March. I've also put in here things like book panto tickets, because I know that at our local theatre, that's when the panto tickets come out. And we like to book the pantomime for Christmas Eve. I've put in things like, you'll notice I've put in things like, for instance, start taking vitamin D in August, because that's when the days start to get a bit slightly shorter from the end of August. So I know they're yearly reminders of me, for me, to start taking my vitamin D. In July we go blackberry picking, and it's usually the end of the year, the school year in July sometime. So those are the kinds of things I put in my perpetual calendar. It's extremely useful because from year to year I know what's happening in those months, whose birthday it is, and I just have to move this in and out of my home control journal. Next I have got this calendar. I printed it off from sarahtitus.com, and basically it was just a bit of fun because I didn't know if this year we were going to be in lockdown or if there was anything, you know, dramatic going to happen this year. So what I did was, instead of buying a new calendar, because I couldn't get to the shops to go and buy a new family calendar, I decided to try typing in all the information that I needed. But then I found a website, I can't remember the name right now, but I will leave it in the link down below. This website is basically dates of every kind of national and sometimes international holidays that happen once a year. Like for instance, the 2nd of May is actually Lemonade Day. So I've written some of these things onto our calendar, like Cinco de Mayo, World Bee Day, National Burger Day. I've written some of these things in our calendars in the hopes that we can try some of those things on those days. Sometimes it just gives me inspiration for meal inspiration, like Cinco de Mayo. We may have a special meal for that day, something, you know, sort of spicy, like tacos or you know, fajitas or something like that, because it's Cinco de Mayo. National Burger Day, obviously we'll have burgers on that day. Coco Vin Day I've put in there, although it's really, I suppose it's a very odd day, but it was one of the meals that I first made for my husband when we were dating, so I've put that in there because that's a little bit of fun, and I thought maybe we have a date night on that night and I'll make him Coco Vin. But yes, there's one for every month of the year. I've gone through their website and I've looked up the days that looked interesting and I've put those in, and I thought it would be fun to perhaps do a theme meal or whatever it may be. Some of them are not actually like meals. Some of them are like that's World Bee Day, for instance, or Smile Day, International Fairy Day. I mean, that stuff just sounds so cool. Like International Surfing Day, how cool is that? I think on that day we'll set up the pool outside. It's in June. We'll set up the pool outside, we'll swim, we'll have ourselves like a little luau, have milkshakes. I'm thinking pina colada milkshakes. Who's with me? Who is with me, right? Make Life Beautiful Day, National Pen Pal Day. Just some cool stuff that I thought would be interesting to try and incorporate those into our year this year. So obviously I've got May, I've got March and April up in my kitchen at the moment. So that's why I've got the rest of them in here. Right, so my word for the year this year is becoming. I got the word from Michelle Obama's book. If you're familiar with Gretchen Rubin, she recommends setting a word for the year, and my word of the year is becoming, blossoming into the woman I know myself to be. In my home management journal, I've also tried to incorporate things that are inspirational to me, things that help me to remember my own health, and things that help me to remember to slow down and to try and remember to feed my soul and feed my own health as well as my family's. So things to remember in 2021. 2020 was an absolutely awful year, but I've tried to put in here some quotes and things that I need to remember, like let not perfection be the enemy of good enough. Jane Austen quote, nothing ever fatigues me but doing what I do not like. Jane Austen. Just some really good quotes. Trouble don't last always. Good things to remember. In every home management journal I've ever had, there has always been this poem. It's called The Desiderata of Happiness, and it was written by Max Ehrmann in 1927. It's an absolutely beautiful poem. I copied the words from online, and I've just put them with a nice pretty border here in my home management journal, because I find that it is just something that I love to read over, even though I've read it an absolute million times. I would really highly encourage you to go and get this poem and read it. It's beautiful. Then I've put down here a little list of emergency self-care. For sadness, watch a film or catch up on Lalande. If you have not watched Chateau Diaries, I would highly recommend you watch Chateau Diaries on YouTube, a fantastic thing to brighten up your day. For anger, listen to soothing music or hypnosis, go for a walk. So there's just lots of little things that I can do here, just in case I'm having a bit of a meltdown. The next, I've got my 21 and 21 list. This is a bit personal, so I'm not going to share everything on here. If you're familiar with Gretchen Rubin, she does every year a sort of, whatever the year ends in. So if it's 2021, then it's 21 things you would like to achieve this year. And I mean, some of them on here are not, are things that I can share with you, like teach my daughter to cook, build up a stock of essential oils, redo the master bedroom, visit the seaside. But there's some things on here that are quite personal little goals that I'm not quite comfortable sharing here, so I'm not going to share that. But if you have not yet done that number in that year list of things to do, honestly, if you are one of those people who doesn't really make or set goals for the year because you find it self-defeating, this is something that is highly doable. It doesn't have to be a list of goals. It can be a list of Perhaps things that you'd like to do, like visit the seaside or have a picnic outside or have a movie night once a month with a family. Things like that. It can be goals, it can be, I don't know, read Pride and Prejudice, or it could be, you know, anything you'd like to achieve. I mean, I've got some weight loss goals on here. I've got some home things that I want to do here, like redo the master bedroom, build up a stock of essential oils, create and maintain an emergency food cupboard, that kind of thing. So really useful, not necessarily a hard and fast, these are my goals and I have to stick to them no matter what, but it's more of a guide of things that you might like to get done this year. So next I've got my 2021 monthly focus. I've taken the items from the 21 in 2021 and I've put them as a monthly focus. So these are the kinds of things I'd like to work on monthly. Weight loss, exercise, editing my manuscript, trying new recipes, some things I'd like to collect. I'd like to collect some spoiled Christmas plates. I'd like to have some mummy and me dates. So I've put those things down in each month. Some of these things are personal, that's why I'm just covering it up. But some of the things, like for instance, in August I've just written picnics and alfresco dining. So focus on recipes and things that we can eat outside and enjoy the sunshine. Some of them are things like outdoor family time, visit the seaside. Some of them are very simple, like in May I want to do a wardrobe overhaul and do some decluttering projects. So basically what I've done is I've taken the 21 and 2021 list and I've split them into months, things that I'd like to focus on in each one of those months. I find that handy because every month I have a focus and then I can split up my tasks and my to-do list appropriately. Here I have I just printed this off from online actually. It's a quote from Jane Austen. It says, "I wish, as well as everybody else, to be perfectly happy, but like everybody else, it must be in my own way." And I thought that was absolutely lovely. Next I've just wiped a lot of them off. Next I've got my morning routine. I have a morning routine for regular times and also one for lockdown times, which is inside here. I've got a morning and afternoon routine. These are the kinds of things I do every day, and if I don't do them, the house just doesn't seem to tick over the way it should. So if you follow the Organised Mum plan, these will be like my tier 1 jobs, things that I do every day, things that my daughter will need to do every day. So it's like wake up, make the bed immediately, get dressed to the shoes, empty the dishwasher, take our medicines and our vitamins and things like that, swish and swipe in the bathroom. Every day I do a little bit of French on Duolingo. The blue items here are things that I need to remind my daughter to do. She needs to do her morning chores, she needs to brush her teeth, she needs to focus on wiping out the basin because I'm sick and tired of doing it, get her hair done, and I'm trying to remind her to do her self-care tasks. Now that she's 10, I'm trying to get her into a habit of doing her own hair and taking care of her own hygiene, using deodorant and things like that. So I've got all those things here in my morning routine, and every day I do them, I tick them off on this little checklist on the side here. I know this is not specifically necessary here on the side, but I'm one of those people, I don't like to break the chain. So if I tick all of these things off and I get to Thursday and then I get up in the morning and I feel lackluster and I don't feel like doing my chores for the day, my routines, I don't want to break the chain, so I will invariably do my morning routine. My morning and my afternoon and evening routines are the things that really help my house to just keep ticking over and our lives to tick over. I find in the days that we don't do them, things just tend to spiral out of control pretty quickly. So I just use a dry erase marker and I just wipe them off as I'm done with them and we start for the next day. Next thing I've done is I've broken down our week, and each day I have sort of focus areas. So you can think of it as a loose sort of schedule, or reminders if you want to think about it that way, because these things are not set in stone. I know that if something comes up on a Monday, I'm not going to be doing some of these things here because something's come up. But for most days I like to give myself a little bit of structure so that the rest of the week goes smoothly, so that I know I have done what I need to get done and I don't have to think about it. This is the main aim for me. This whole home management journal is so that I don't have to think about it. Also, if, God forbid, something should happen to me, my husband knows exactly what gets done when, who does what, you know, what the insurance details are, what needs to be cleaned, what errands we have, what he knows. Everything that needs to be done. He knows how to keep this home and our family ticking over. So each day has a little sort of a theme, like it's Motivational Monday, and then we've got Try It Tuesday, we've got Weed Out Wednesday, things like that. It sounds cheesy, but I thought it made it a bit more fun. So I don't do all of these things every single day. I've done my daily cleaning, so I need to tick that off. But so I've got my morning routine down. I've got things that I need to do. I've worked out, I've showered, I've spent some time in nature. I've got to do some social media and working on blogging parties. So these are the things that I will possibly need to do today. I may not do them all. Like I said, something may come up, but it's nice to have a sort of structure to my day. And so that it takes the guesswork out of every day for me. Some people don't need as much structure, some people need way less structure, some people need way more structure. This is what works for me. And I like it that in this time frame, between 5 and 1 o'clock in the afternoon, these are the things I'll do. And between 1 o'clock and 9:30 at night, these are the things I will do. So what makes this little control journal a Jane Austen control journal is I've put in Jane Austen quotes and beautiful flowers and things that I think possibly Jane Austen may have liked in her lifetime, beautiful flowers. And this quote for Monday is, there are people who the more you do for them, the less they will do for themselves. And I need to remind myself of this, not because my family are lazy, but because I'm trying to help my daughter to become self-sufficient, to teach her life skills, so that as she gets older, she is more in control and more empowered to be able to do some things for herself. And there are also things that hubby can help with. So I need to remember that this quote here reminds me that I don't have to do everything, and that it's good to empower others to be able to be part of the family and help the family as well. So I've done my cleaning schedule. I haven't ticked it off, but I will do that as soon as I'm finished with this video. It's important to note that I set the timer for 30 minutes and I get as many of these things done as possible. If there are some things that haven't been done this week, I will then do them next week, if that makes any sense. So within a 2-week time frame, most cleaning tasks in the home get done. And I know that sounds like I'm being really rigid here when you look at some of these things that need to be done, but it just keeps things ticking over. It's all here, and this is how I get on with my cleaning in the week. So then I've got Try It Tuesday, be open to new ideas and try new things today. So I do my weigh-in, I take my measurements. I've got things to remind me to do baking on a Tuesday. So I usually do baking for the week, like for lunchbox treats and things like that, if I haven't already done a big fill my freezer baking session. So those are the things that I would do on a Tuesday. This quote says, "It isn't what we say or think that defines us, but what we do." Another quote by Jane Austen. And there's my cleaning for Tuesday. Wednesday, I call it Weed Out Wednesday. Declutter or organize something today. So this seems like an awful lot of cleaning for a Wednesday, but like I said, whatever I don't get done on the Wednesday, I'll do it on this Wednesday, I'll do it the following Wednesday. So there were 3 separate zones here on this day because they just didn't seem to fit anywhere else. So I get those things done on this day, and whatever I don't get done, I just keep until the following week. Just so you know as well, I put things on here to remind me, because otherwise it goes weeks and weeks before I realize that I haven't dyed my hair, I haven't done a skin peel or exfoliated my skin. these are just reminders. So after I've had my workout, I will do a skin peel and I'll wash my hair. Yes, of course I need to wash my hair because I shower every day, but I don't always remember to do things like skin peels. And I've put on here, do a mani and pedi and full body moisturize. You know, I remember to moisturize my hands, but not necessarily my entire body every day. So when I put reminders in here, it reminds me of what needs to be done. Wednesday I do grocery shopping as well. And this quote for today on Wednesday is, I declare, after all, there is no enjoyment like reading. How much sooner one tires of anything than of a book. One of my favourite quotes of Jane Austen's. Okay then, Thursday is my plan and play day. Now if you follow Fly Lady, you'll know all about plan and play Thursday. I like to plan anything that needs to be planned on a Thursday, so that I'm not doing little bits here and there every day of the week and then forgetting something. So I'll do my morning routine, I'll do my cleaning of the kitchen, then I'll do things like a food inventory, a grocery list, menu plan. I brought this over from my old home management journal. It's my prompts for my weekly plan and play session. So there are things to remind me, like errands, things to remind me about appointments that I might need to schedule, things that I might need to confirm. It's prompts to remind me to make some arrangements with friends, perhaps for a Zoom call or face-to-face if we're allowed to, in this world of lockdown. And then things that I need to remember to plan or to do something about, like say for instance, New Year's, World Book Day, Christmas, birthdays, holidays that we're taking or trips we're taking, things like that. So because I do my meal planning as well on a Thursday, I have these meal planning prompts here. When I get really stuck, if I don't know what to make that night, I might go, you know, some of these prompts might prompt me of what to make, like we might have a pasta night or breakfast for dinner or a jacket potato bar, things like that. This also reminds me to schedule in a family fun night for board games, say for instance, or a movie night, or even a date night with my sweetie. And then I have my free time on Thursday in the afternoon. I've put there big letters, free time, and we have another quote here from Jane Austen. We have all a better guide in ourselves if we would attend to it than any other person can be. Love that. Listen to your own intuition, listen to what you need. Next thing I have is this weekly plan and play worksheet. Now what I do is, if there's anything urgent that needs to be done this week, I write it in this block. Anything I need to do for me, if I want to dye my hair, or things that I need to remember to do like for myself, I put in here. Anything I want to do for work, on my blog, on videos, anything like that. All my errands and appointments go in here. Menu plan, I'll write just a quick menu plan in here, and anything that needs to be done for the home that isn't in any of my cleaning lists or any of my sort of rough schedule goes in here. And I put this up on the fridge and I just tick off things as I go along during the week. I used to have a planner, and I still do have a planner for appointments and things, but I find that I was doing from week to week so many of these things that I was putting in here, or so many things I was putting in here were were repeated from week to week, so there was no point in me actually having writing a lot of these things into my planner, and my planner just got way too crowded and I was missing things. So I have them all down, I put them all down here, and this goes in the front of my fridge, and I just print off more of these when I need them. I've got more little sort of planning pages here in case I need them. There's Thursday's cleaning schedule. Friday is the Friday focus. There are things that I will focus on a Friday. If there's specifically an area in the home that I'm working on that needs some extra time, if we're decorating something, I will focus on that on a Friday. And if there are any odd jobs that need to be done, like mending or any ironing, or if I need to do a freezer inventory or anything like that, I'll try and do that on a Friday. Saturday, if we're not doing any DIYs, I like to rotate the patio, the courtyard, and the utility room downstairs. If this week I'm working on the patio, next week I'll work on the courtyard, and the following week I'll work on the utility room. So that's how that works. That way the outside areas also get a bit of a tidy as well. I've put these in here because these are life skills I'm teaching my daughter. I haven't actually been ticking things off, but I should do. They're just cleaning skills, meal preparation skills, self-care skills, finance skills, emergency knowledge, things that she might need to know, and other life skills that I feel would be useful to help her to be a well-adjusted adult. Now, some of these things may not be useful to you and your family, but for me, I just think that they are very important things that I would need, and things that I wanted to know, and things that I needed to learn myself that I perhaps wasn't taught when I was growing up. So these things are important, and I want to teach these things to my daughter. I got this Messy House boot camp list from the Organised Mums website, and I have tailored it to our family and to what makes sense for us. And I did it in our colours, the colours that match my planner, my home management journal. Another quote from Jane Austen: there is nothing like staying home for real comfort. Absolutely true. Then I have printed these off from our council's website. They are Christmas recycling and rubbish collection days, so when the days change from my usual days over public holidays and Christmas, Easter, etc. The schedule for the recycling and rubbish collection, and then what goes in each bin, other things you can recycle, things they don't want us to recycle, etc. Alright, next, I wanted this home management journal to not only be something that helps to keep the home ticking along, but something that would help me with balance in my own life. So I have put some things in here that I feel would be beneficial for me to remember to do, and perhaps things that are useful for me to remember when I'm feeling particularly stressed, or when I have some downtime, and things that I would like to do that will help me to feel balanced overall, if that makes any sense whatsoever. So I've made a spring, winter, summer and autumn hygge list. Now, I don't, whether you call it hygge, 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 whatever, however you say it, it is that feeling of overall contentment and that feeling of overall coziness with life. And I've done one for each of the seasons because I feel that it's so important for me to sometimes stop and see life for what it is, because I'm a human being, not a human doing, and I need to remember that. Sometimes I just do until I burn myself out, and I need to remember that there are things that need to be done in life that are not on the to-do list. Things like taking a stroll in the rain, having a digital detox, reading affirmations, making s'mores, blowing bubbles, planting a herb garden, playing board games with my family, having a pajama day if that's what I need, writing to my pen pals, doing deep breathing, having afternoon tea in our garden, making sangria and tapas one night and just gazing at the stars outside, things like jumping in the leaves in the autumn and making chili and cornbread with all the fixings. Those things are also important in life, and I need to remember those things, so I've put them in here under their dedicated season. The next thing I've put in my home management journal is ideas for date nights and ideas for family activities for spring. This was from happilyevermom.com. And summer bucket list, this is from messylittlemonsters.com. I'm not sure where this one was from. This is 101 bits of summer fun. I don't know where that was from. I got these all of Pinterest at some point in one of my home management journals, so this was just taken from one of the previous ones. Some ideas for pre-teens, summer fun. As you can see, this one's from 2011. This one was by sweetandlovelycrafts.blogspot.com. Indoor activities for a rainy autumn day. I will put the names of the printables and the authors and the links down in the description box below, so you'll be able to see those. So I have these pages in here because there are certain things we celebrate every year, like Pancake Day on Shrove Tuesday, and I'll need the recipe, so I've put it in here because it's one of those things that comes around every single year, and I don't want to have to go scratching through my recipe folder for it. Things like St. David's Day, how people celebrate St. David's Day, and things that we might eat on St. David's Day, like Welsh rarebits, World Book Day, and some ideas. St. Patrick's Day, some ideas for celebrating St. Patrick's Day, and I have one of those for things like Earth Day, things like the longest day of the year, the shortest day of the year, like Yule, to make Yule cake, some New Year's Eve traditions, things like that, because I think all these days come round in a year and we kind of go, oh look, so today's St. Patrick's Day, and then we never really do anything about it. It's really nice to be able to go, oh, it's St. Patrick's Day, oh look, I've made mint cupcakes today, and we can celebrate St. Patrick's Day even if we're not Irish, with, you know, mint cupcakes today. Or it's Earth Day, so let's make sure that we declutter and recycle things appropriately and eat a vegetarian meal on that day. It's important to remember these days, and I really feel it is important to remember these days. And in these pages there are some recipes and there are some ideas for how to celebrate these days without letting them go by unmarked. Some year we celebrate all of them, some years we only celebrate a few of them, but it's nice to have something in here to remind me of what we can do, or in case I need the recipe, I don't want to have to go digging through my main recipe file for it. So this is my home management journal. There are some things in here that may not be useful to you that are definitely useful to me. There may be some things in here that you think, wow, that's overkill. Do you know what? It works for our family and it works for me, and that is what it needs to be. And I really would encourage you to create a home management journal of your own, because these things are never ever going to stick completely in my brain. My schedules of cleaning and things that I need to get done in a week and things that I need to plan or things that I need to organize, they're never all going to stay stuck in my brain, and that is why having them down on paper is so important. Because if I was going away for 2 weeks and I had to try and explain all of this to my husband, can you imagine how that would go? I wouldn't remember anything. But instead, I have it all written down. If anything happens to me, or if I have to go anywhere, or if, you know, we need emergency information, it is all down here, and that is what a home management journal is about. This stays in my kitchen, and it is one of those things that we refer back to every single day, and it keeps me on track. And that's exactly what you want in an organized family. So I really encourage you to do a home management journal of your own. And if you like this video, give it a thumbs up. Hit that notification bell so that you don't miss a single new upload. There are going to be loads and loads of cool things coming up on the channel soon, so you wouldn't want to miss those. Make sure you hit that like button as well, as it really helps me out. And thanks for watching, and I will speak to you next time. Bye.